Hey everyone, I'm Hickory with ComfyMillionaire.com, and I got several responses through my website, through ComfyMillionaire.com. If you go over to the resource section and then scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's several different fields you can fill out, and that's where some of these people actually submitted their questions to me. I was kind of surprised because we just launched the website, so everything's not really there, but responses have already been pouring in, so I'm pretty surprised by that. Already wrote up at least these 4 questions that they had for me and responses, and instead of just go ahead and sending it over to them, I thought, well, this might make for a good opportunity to go ahead and make a video too. So I'll go pretty much just reading their questions and then reading my written response to them too. If you have any questions or comments, you can contact me through the same way that they did, or down in the comments here, or any of the other social media areas that we're located at. So the 4 questions today is, how do I invest in stocks without losing money? Number 2 is dealing with working all the time and $35,000 in college debt while still in college. 3 is paying for bills all the time and some impulse control issues. How do I get out of the cycle? And 4, that hits kind of close to home because I have a family member that's this age. 17 years old and wants to know where to start. Starting in like investing, making money, things like that. So, and I should preface that a lot of this is my opinion and everything. I don't know if you would qualify it as real like advice. I'm not a professional investor or anything. I don't have any certifications, any titles or anything for that. My college level, highest level is actually an applied science degree, associates. It's not in any of that. That's one of the remarkable things about this is overall I'm incredibly average to under average in several different areas, but still making very good money, very comfortable. My last house I just purchased with cash. I don't have any debt. There's a lot of stuff. I get into that both on the website, some of my background. I went from 11 to 13,000 a year to multiple times that. I also reveal some of my history in answering some of these questions. So as a disclaimer and everything, take this for what it is. I've been investing in stocks since 2004, making money in that. Lost a good amount of money. I talk about it in this one question right here. I bridged out, created different businesses, failed a lot, have a really solid business now in like real estate, making money through that. Just a lot of learning experiences, and I'm just sharing the information, things that I've learned along the way, hopefully to give some of y'all shortcuts to making money yourself. I'm very big into sharing information, connecting with all of you too. If you have a channel too, I don't believe in competition at all. I think we're really all on one team. I don't think YouTube's oversaturated or any of the other markets are oversaturated. I think there's plenty of money for everybody to get some and have some go around. So getting back to the question, sorry about that. Let's see. How do I invest in the stock market without losing money? Is there a way to guarantee I will not lose it all? Okay, anytime that you invest in the stock market, you're risking losing money and making money. When people refer to the stock market, they are often referring to the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the S&P 500 indexes. There is a debate going on that relying too much on history and the history of the stock market and where it will go. So with that, you really don't want to rely on the history of the stock market, but you're trying to piece together what information you can whenever you're making stock decisions or mutual fund decisions. You still want to know that there's a good track history and that's lasted for several years, but you don't want that to be your only point in deciding if you want to actually invest in that company. There's a lot of things that you need to consider whenever you are investing in anything. Let's see. I personally like to look at the history as a whole to get the picture on how it recovers and changes over time. When it comes to single stock, mutual funds, bonds, ETFs, and the such, I have to tell you to research the current information and health of those businesses and not the history of the specific investment. The stock market has had over 10 recessions since the 1920s in the United States and has had over 40 recessions since the Panic of 1785. Based on various issues around war, revolutions, agriculture, metals, and more, not just stocks. So even before like the stock market, we've had what you would call recessions. So that's what I'm referring to. It's hasn't always been. There's been dips and dives and stuff throughout the whole history of the United States. So it's not just with stocks. You can see it reflected in other markets. Give a reference. You can go to microtrends.net to look over the various historical charts and statistics. Okay, back to the question of investing in a way not to lose money. Okay, myself personally, I've had short-term losses, and even with the Great Recession around 2008 to 2011, I made back the 35% I lost on everything. So with the Great Recession, like I said, through 2008 to 2011, a lot of things got hit. Some of my accounts I did sell off, but most of it I really believed in the strategy that I had going at the time. And I stuck to it, and it paid off. Did take 3 years though, but it did. Also during that time when I was talking to people, everybody was averaging, at least the people that I've talked to, they lost anywhere from about 30 to 40% of all their money, of their 401ks, of their IRAs, of their Roth IRAs, of their brokerage accounts, all the different things. If the stock market goes down, I leave the money in, and it has come up and it's gained every single bit that I've ever lost, and it continues up. You'll hear on the news every now and again, the stock market record highs. How I invest usually is with indexes. I'll explain a lot more in other channels. I'll go over some of the ETFs and other funds that I like to invest in. Overall, it's really basic. It's dumbed down. There's not a lot of trading. It's actually really boring, and that's how I like it. You don't want to be wound up emotional with your money. Okay, if you've done your research and not narrowed yourself down to one or two markets or individual stocks, then just ride out the roller coaster that is the stock market. So overall, like I said, I like to do indexes, which I'll go over in other videos. Okay, question number 2. I am a college student and currently have $35,000 in college debt. My primary job is working at a department store in the afternoon and a big box store on the weekend. How can I invest when I feel like this looming debt is going to hit me in the head when I graduate? Should I pay off the debt or invest now? I've spoken to thousands upon thousands of people since I originally started this in 2004. I've met people that were one step away from being homeless. So I went and met their families that they were living in hotel rooms. And like I said, they were just one step away from being homeless technically they didn't have any houses anyways. They were staying in hotel rooms. So I've spoken to them. I spoke to people that lived in shacks in the backyards and sheds and the backyards of other people's houses. I've also spoken to people on the flip side of that, millionaires, multimillionaires, both from here in the United States, one serial entrepreneur from Malaysia, some millionaires from Vietnam. It doesn't matter what your economic background is. I like to talk to people. I like to talk to people about their money, learn from them over the years, and help shape my own path and all the money that I've made, which now, like I said, I've gotten to the point where I don't have to go to the bank to get a mortgage on the next house that I want to buy or have to be a landlord over. I just pay in cash, which is a wonderful position to be in. So back to this lady that has a college debt and is wondering if she should go ahead. Let's see, should I pay off the debt or invest now? Let's see, I have to commend you on being able to balance your 2 jobs and your college career. I have done the same thing years ago. I worked full-time and went to school full-time and only made $11,000 to $13,000 a year for years. First, you should be saving all of your money. If you're under the age of 25, then you have plenty of time to invest and compound your interest. You should be thinking of building an emergency fund of 6 to 12 months. People usually hear that and they kind of shudder because they say, Hickory, how can you How can you do that? I'm living paycheck to paycheck. How can I even how can I save up for 6 to 12 months? I hate to say I don't answer that in this video though, but I do have plans to make those videos on the different things, the side hustles, different ways that I've saved money. It really kind of trickled in to get a foothold. I'll make additional videos and start explaining those, but there's really so much information to go over. I don't want to make this way too long. You're trying to save as much money as possible. I try to shoot for 6 to 12 months of your living expenses. Then start researching on building a resume that is specific to your career you plan on having after college. So the main thing is you're investing in yourself. If you're young and everything, like I said, before the age of 25, going to college, just focus on that. Don't worry about doing the investment. You're still early enough to make millions of dollars. You really are. Just focus on getting that career, your job, being happy in that, preparing yourself. You have lots of little things that you can work on to better yourself before you start investing in the stock market. You should be thinking of what state and what city you plan on going to for that first big job. A lot of people think, Hickory, well, I've always lived in this city or this town or this state. There are a lot of advantages to moving to a poorer state. There's advantages to moving to a richer state, depending on what their resources are. I live in Oklahoma. It is a lot easier for me to buy houses with cash, a lot lower price point here in Oklahoma versus something crazy and ridiculous where the market's completely different in like Phoenix, Arizona, or Orlando, Florida, or Los Angeles, California, or Seattle, Washington. Completely different area, completely different model. So depending on where you live, where you want to start, you can put down your roots. If you're young, you can put down your roots anywhere. I moved away and everything after I graduated and tried it for about 2 or 3 years. Learned a lot of lessons. And when I decided that I do really want to come back and live in Oklahoma, that's where I grew up, that's where I have family. So getting back to this nice lady's question, deciding on where you want to go, you're not bound to the city or state that you're in. After you graduate, take that opportunity to go out, have some fun, have some new experiences, and try other places that you've never been. Really, it's an adventure. As for your college debt, you might find a better use of your time quitting one of your jobs and filling out scholarships nonstop. With that, I mean, jobs, the job market right now and everything, there are a lot of jobs around. It's a lot easier, at least right now, here in 2019 at this time of the year, to pick up a job. Job loss is a lot less right now. There's a lot more opportunity out there. So I feel more comfortable like suggesting, why don't you reduce your hours, or why don't you quit one of your jobs to focus on like writing for grants or scholarships, things that will help eliminate that college debt and propel you a little bit more for your future. That way, whenever you're coming out of graduating, it doesn't feel like you're hitting a brick wall with all that debt. If your day is full of work and school, you seriously might not have time to do anything. So definitely recognize that. If your weekend job is for something like a minimum wage, then that might be the one that you want to quit. Or you can try to see if you can work every other weekend or get reduced hours, like I mentioned before. If you do this, then your new job is to fill out scholarships, grants, and apply for additional applications to help out with financial that doesn't have to be paid back, like such as grants or scholarships. So you don't want to be going out to then get loans, and this time that you free up, you don't just want to relax if you were going to be working at that time anyways. You seriously have to consider filling out these applications as your job. Like I worked 4 or 5 hours, minimum wage, working on the weekends, you quit that, it's still 4 or 5 hours of you just doing paperwork and getting rejected multiple times. You're filling out so much that you're hoping, someone will give you $250 here, maybe $1,000 here. You're trying to bring it all in to just eliminate this debt. Let's see. Also, take care of yourself. Don't ignore sleep and some physical activity. Your main focus is graduating on college, and you need to keep yourself sane and healthy to do so. So don't have all this debt to really break you down, to make you a nervous wreck and everything. You really need to take care of yourself. If you start losing your health is more important than any of this, more important than your money, more important than your college. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything. You need to take care of yourself. Let's see. So exercise, get your sleep, get some activity in, watch what you eat, all that. Basic information. Once you graduate and get the big career, then allocate. And this is what I've done. I don't ask you to do anything I haven't done myself. Then allocate. So once you graduate and get that big career, allocate 15 to 25% of everything that you make in investing. That's my method and what I did too, because I focus on getting out of that debt. And then I cranked it up to, since I was living poor, living on $11,000 to $13,000 a year, it was easy that once I graduated and saw my salary multiply many, many times, that it was a lot easier to just go ahead and continue living poor. And that's what really gave me my foothold to start getting rid of debt and to catch up on the investing that I missed. So start investing everything that you make, 15 to 25% of everything that you make into investing. There are different types of ways of investing, but I'll save that for another time in another video.